Okay, I just realized that my mic was muted. Don't worry, I saw it. I saw it. It's right on my dashboard. I'm not touching it anymore on OBS. I'm not touching that ever again. I'm letting this be the one that controls whether my mic is on or not. So, firstly, let me apologize, everyone. Okay, there we go. We're good. We're good. All right. Izati Fran, welcome to the stream. Yo, peoples. Kyushu92 here. We have a lot of ground to cover today because this is my first stream where I'm covering the reaction, reviewing the reaction, and then doing the reflections on all the chapters that we got in January due to today being the last day of the month, and everyone knows who watches my stuff that reflections are streams that I do on the last day of the month for all the chapters we get within a month of One Piece. So I got a lot of ground to cover, and let's get to it. Afterwards, I'll do My Hero Academia, and then I'll do my usual One Piece episode reactions. So I decided to do it here in just one stream because it made little sense for me to do One Piece reaction, then My Hero Academia, then do One Piece reflections. It just felt like too much. Kohagen, what is going on? So I just decided to do reaction, review, and reflections all in one stream. So we're gonna go through this stream. We're gonna do our my review of it, and then we're gonna do reflections of all the chapters that we've had here in the month of January. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, for safety reasons, I am going to full screen my reaction here because sometimes people get a little bit overzealous and won't let me read through the chapters, and then they'll say stuff about things that happened later in the chapter that I haven't even gotten to. Like I had someone pop up and said something about Midoriya in the last chapter of My Hero Academia, and I haven't even gotten to that page yet, and I didn't realize what was going on until I got to the last page. It was all like, wow, this person just said this before I even got to it. Like, just this is the reason why if I don't read what you guys say in chat is because people like to, overstep me when I'm reacting to it and say it in chat when I'm trying to give you guys my genuine reaction to these. So, apologies if I don't see what you guys say during my reaction. I will read it when I'm done. All right, let's go into chapter 1000, and I still can't believe we're at 1000 chapters of One Piece already. Chapter 1002 of One Piece. 4 Emperors versus the New Generation. And here we have a reader request, Lucci feeding penguins in the park. And we have Lucci just surrounded by pigeons who are just eating out of his feed bag. And there's lots of them. Some of them have some unique looks to them. Like one has like a midi afro with a scar on his cheek. Another one has like a necklace and like a comb back haircut. And another one has like another scar on his face. And Lucci is just looking at his pigeon that is usually with him because his pigeon is crying and he's got a knot on his head. I don't know if his pigeon decided to try and keep the feed to himself. And Lucci knocks some sense into him and says, hey, don't do that. Let these other pigeons eat. But reader requests Lucci feeding pigeons in the park by PNX-5Go. All right, let's move on to the next page because in the last chapter, it had both Big Mom and Kaido saying that, all right, Kaido goes into his dragon form, and they both face, and not only that, but Big Mom, coats Napoleon in the flames of Prometheus, and they prepare to use their strongest forms to go up against, Luffy, Law, Kid, Zoro, and Killer. And, well, now we get to see what happens. And, oh, snap, do we actually get the name of the attack that, took off Kiku's arm all of a sudden? Hold on. Kaido rears his head up in the air and he says, Demolition Gust. And he roars, and that's what sends those invisible air slashes out. Law sees this and he shambles himself out of the way. And it hits Kid's big punk rotten golem and it slices into one of his arms. And Killer's all like, Kid! And Kid isn't fazed by this because he just says, it was scrap to begin with. And then one slash goes towards Zoro, and Zoro, still standing in place, just slaps it off to the side without moving. He just slaps it off to the side using Enma. I notice he has Enma in his hands right now, and he just bats the slash off to the side. Then we got Luffy going in Gear 4th straight towards Kaido and directly into his face, because as you remember, Luffy is capable of injuring Kaido now. Gum Gum! And he's right in front of Kaido. Kong Rifle! And hits Kaido straight in the face. Then you have Kid, who's right below Kaido. Now here's the thing, Kaido is still reeling from this Kong Rifle, and he's like kind of upside down, his head is reared back, and Kid is already underneath him, and he grabs Kaido by his head. And is he about to pile drive Kaido? Slam! Gibson! And slams Kaido's head straight into the ground. And then Kaido gets up. Ugh. And then Law is right next to him, and he rooms right next to Kaido and does a whole bunch of somersaults next to him. I've never seen an anatomical chart of a dragon, but I guess the heart is right about here. Gamma Knife! And he hits Kaido with Gamma Knife. You know, the same move that literally jumbles up your insides from the inside, which I feel is a perfect attack against Kaido because, I mean, he's not invincible on the inside. I mean, Doflamingo had a hard time dealing with this. And Kaido screams in pain. Ugh! Enough of these tricks. So, you've learned how tough my defense is. It seems you're not just mindless fools relying on guts to win. And then Killer just jumps up on Kaido and just starts trying to slice him. The toughness of these scales has caused us enough trouble. I just need to cut past them to get to the inside. Scyther Sonic! I'm sorry? What type of move is that? Wait a minute. Scyther Sonic? So we actually got another move by Killer. Scyther Sonic. And it shows like giant, enormous, and large blades. I don't know if it's the speed at which he's cutting it that it causes the blades to be enlarged. Kind of like Asuma's chakra blades, where he can extend their sharpness past their actual natural edge. Killer is doing something similar, and it looks like it's cutting straight into Kaido. And then Kaido is screaming out in pain again, and then there's a crack sound, and there's a massive amount of light in front of Killer, and Killer notices this. And it's Big Mom who says, Indra! Indra. I-N-D-R-A. And yo! Killer is hit with a big old bolt of lightning from Big Mom. Killer! Mama! As long as you're under the open sky, there is no escape for you. So she's using the power of Zeus to wield lightning, and she literally and then along came Zeus and just hit Killer right off of Kaido. They're more vexing than I imagined. And just as Killer is falling and Kaido prepares to literally bite him, he gets hit in the side of his mouth with Luffy's Rhino Schneider. And this draws blood from Kaido. This specifically draws blood from Kaido, because other times you would see him open his mouth during this fight, and there was no blood. But here, the Rhino Schneider actually draws blood from Kaido. And then Kaido reels back, and he jotters a Bolo Breath. And then, we got Zoro talking to Law. Traffy, shoot me up there. First them, now you. I'm not your personal servant. But he still, shambles Zoro where he wants to go. Bolo Breath! And Zoro gets shambled right in front of the Bolo Breath and cuts it with Flame Rend. Zoro! One sword style? What's that? Look out, Kaido! That's no ordinary sword! Flying Dragon! Blaze! Whoa! 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 Hold up! Wait a minute! Yo! 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 I'm just knocking stuff over. He just said Flying Dragon Blaze, and he cut something, and he cut one of the horns off the skull of Onigashima. He literally just beep, and just the horn is cut one of the horns is just cut completely off. Oh my goodness. Big Mom knew what this sword was and how powerful it was. That's no ordinary sword. It goes Flying Dragon Blaze. And just cut one of the horns off cleanly. Now, here's the thing. The skull of Onigashima is absolutely massive. I mean, the entirety of the fortress of Kaido resides in this skull, and this fortress itself is massive. So, Zoro just going along and just cutting one of the horns off completely. And the slash is a long slash too, okay? This was a massive distance covered in this one slash. How does his katana bear the presence of Odin within it? We've underestimated them. And then Zoro says, darn it, I missed. And he gets hit with Indra as well. So Zoro missed. If he had hit, who knows what that would have done to Kaido? But Zoro gets hit with Indra. Zoro! Mama! Mama! There's nowhere to escape. God of Lightning, Tenjin! And now it's just a whole bunch of streaks of lightning that's just striking everywhere. We now see what they meant when Big Mom was angry and furious. She caused like a ginormous storm to happen. This is it. There's a massive lightning storm right now, and it's just raining down lightning everywhere. Almost reminds me a little bit of Enel's Mamaragan, just a little bit. But here, it's just covering the entire area. And even Luffy gets hit, but with him being rubber, it doesn't really affect him all that much. And everyone is getting hit with it. Darn it, what is she, a natural disaster? And this is Kid saying this. And one of the lightning itself has faces. And they're laughing. And they're hitting everyone. They're hitting Kid, they're hitting Law, Luffy, Zoro, Killer. Everyone is getting hit. But then Luffy since Luffy's immune to, lightning, he's the only one who's able to withstand all this. And he's in front of Big Mom and Kaido, and Big Mom's all like, huh? Straw Hat? Why didn't that lightning work on you? Because I'm rubber! You're gonna pay for what you did to them. And Big Mom is looking like, oh crap. She literally has sweat coming down her face, and her eyes are like, ugh. But then, out of nowhere, Kaido hits with this Boro Breath again, and actually manages to hit Luffy. But it doesn't stop him. My flame doesn't work either. Why not? And then Luffy says, Guts! It's because of Guts that Kaido's Bolo Breath doesn't work on him! Guts! Gum Gum! And then a punch is already on Kaido. Kong Gatling! And he just constantly, and he's just going to town on Kaido. And this is the end of the chapter. It ends with Luffy using Kong Gatling on Kaido. Next chapter hits next week. Wait, next week. It hits next week on a Thursday. On a Thursday? That's a first. Okay. But yeah, that got me out of my seat. That's a 9 out of 10. We got to see more attacks. Whew. That was good. Pigeons, not penguins. Did I really heard penguins at first? I feel like I may have mistaken pigeons for penguins. I might have said penguins because I messed it up, but this was a good chapter. So let's just do a recap. The 7th is Sunday. Oh, I see. See, the thing is, my calendar on my computer, it has not shifted to February yet, so I just saw the 7th on the Thursday, and I was thinking, wait, 7th is on a Thursday. But you're right, the 7th is on a Sunday itself. I'm sorry, my calendar threw me off because I was looking at it wrong. That was my mistake. I am sorry, everyone. Alright, so let me just go ahead and give my review of this chapter, and then we'll move on into the reflections portion. I am 17 minutes in. Once I'm done with my review, I'm gonna note when I go into my reflections, so that way I can put the timestamp in the description so people will know when the chapter reaction starts, and then the reflection parts of this actually begin as well. Sorry if it's a little bit gloomy. It is really raining a lot outside, a lot of freezing rain with chances of sleet, so it's causing my natural light to be less than ideal. That was nothing. So, apologies for that. Hey Jaden, what's going on? And Blaziken Dragon. And okay, so let's just go over this chapter as a whole real quick. So, we finally get a name for the attack that Kaido uses that throws out invisible air slashes that are capable of taking off Kiku's arm. It's called Demolition Gus. And of course, Zoro blocks one of those, and everyone avoids the attack, but Zoro's the only one who actually blocks it and slaps it away from him. And then we have Luffy using Kong Rifle on Kaido. And then we have Kid using Slam Gibson on Kaido. And then we have Law using Gamma Knife on Kaido. And then we have Killer using Scyther Sonic on Kaido. Everyone's using their own respective moves in order to inflict damage on Kaido. Once all these attacks are done, Big Mom comes around and uses Indra, which is an offset of Zeus's abilities that she uses to knock away Killer first. And then we have Luffy using Rhino Schneider against Kaido to keep him from, swallowing Killer whole. Then we have Zoro having Law. I was about to call him Traffy, but I'm so used to calling him Law. And then we have Zoro using Law to shambles him in front of Kaido's incoming Bolo Breath in order to block it with Flame Brand. And in that same instance, he uses Enma, which Big Mom notices that something is going on with that sword and tells Kaido to be careful. This is the only time that we've seen Big Mom warn Kaido that, hey, you better watch out real quick. Because other times when Luffy hit Kaido with Red Rock, Big Mom was all like, "How could you let him hit you like that?" But this is the first time where she actually shows concern for Kaido's well-being by saying, "Look out, that's no ordinary sword." And Zoro, using Enma, he uses one sword style Flying Dragon Blaze. He misses, but he takes out one of the horns of Onigashima in the process. Like the ginormous skull, he takes out with that slash. He literally chops it completely through. But he misses. And since Zoro is still in midair, he gets hit with Indra as well. Then Big Mom uses something called God of Lightning Tenjin and just starts sending lightning all over the place, which also happens, which since it's part of Zeus, they also have their own individual, like they have facsimile souls in them as well, because these tendrils of lightning have faces in them and can make sounds, and because one appears right in front of Kid, and it's laughing before it zaps him, and everyone is getting zapped, including Luffy, but due to his unique devil fruit power nature, he is immune to the effects of lightning, and he's the only one left standing. Kaido's Bolo Breath not working on Luffy was foreshadowed in an anime opening. That's one thing I noticed, only because she's planning to double-cross Kaido later. Yes, of course, because she wanted to know where his Roponeglyph was, and you know, if anything happens to Kaido, then she can never find that out, and that would hinder her plans of becoming Pirate King. So, of course, she would look out for the well-being of Kaido, because it suits her ends. So that's the thing with Big Mom. But that is a very good point, Blaziken. You remind me that I haven't played a Pokemon game in so long. You saying you being Blaziken just reminds me of that. Enma is alive. I mean, I would not be surprised, due to its nature and how it literally forces its user to use Haki unless they fully master it. I would not be surprised if this thing has a mind of its own. I mean, it is a high-grade sword. I seen a theory on social media that Kid is going to use his electromagnetism fruit to redirect the lightning, kind of like an avatar. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because if this is like, here's the thing. Let me get into this when I do my reflections. Let me just continue with that, and then we'll just go over the chapters for my reflections. I won't be too long, you guys. I won't be too long. But she uses God of Lightning Tenjin. Let me focus. And she starts hitting everyone except for Luffy, and Luffy's immune to the lightning, saying, I'm rubber, so that's why it didn't work. And you're gonna pay for what you did to them. And he actually aims at Big Mom, but Kaido hits him with Bolo Breath again. Bolo Breath. It's called Blast Breath in the English translation here, in the official translation, but I kind of used in between the two. But he hits Luffy with it, but Luffy is still standing even after getting hit with it. Now remember, this is the same blast that is capable of obliterating entire mountaintops cleanly. And he was able to survive this attack point blank. My flame doesn't work either? Why not? And then Luffy just says, because of guts! And ends the chapter with punching Kaido with Kong Gatling. And that's where we end the chapter, and I can't wait to see what the chapter holds for us in next week's chapter as well. So, since we're done reviewing the chapter, I thought this chapter was good. I thought this chapter was really good. It got me out of my chair, so it's a 9 out of 10. And seeing Luffy actually use Kong Gatling, here's the thing. He didn't use Kong Gatling on Kaido in their first encounter. That was Kong Organ, right? I'm not looking at this wrong. Because if that's the case, then is this the first time we've seen Kong Gatling? Because Kong Organ is completely different from Kong Gatling. Because if so, then this is the first time we're seeing a new Kong move. If not, then someone will correct me. But if this is a new move, then hey, we got a Gear 4th version of a Gatling move again. Like we have the regular Gatling. Then we have Jet Gatling. Then we have what is the Gear Third version? Uh, Giant Gatling. Yes. So we have Gatling, Jet Gatling, Giant Gatling, and now we have Kong Gatling. Like 4 different variations of that move now. So if this is the first time that we're seeing Kong Gatling, then hey, it's just increasing Luffy's repertoire. But if this is not the first time that we're seeing it, then it's just count it because I forgot. Because I tend to do that. But overall, I enjoy this chapter as a whole. Now, at the 25 minute 46 second mark, now I'm going to start my reflections. So, let me just go back here to the previous chapters that we've had. And we only got 3 chapters in the month of January. Chapter 1000, 1001, and today's chapter 1002. So, going through these chapters here, firstly, by the way, I've seen a cartoon on YouTube, an old one with Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four versus Magneto. The one where I've seen that one. The one where he uses a wooden gun to beat Magneto. Not to steer you away, but I just finished watching my latest solo leveling vid, but didn't the King of the Giants look like Roger to you from One Piece? If Roger had massive amounts of hair and a ginormous beard, the way he smiles reminded me of Roger. Mr. Fantastic defeated Magneto with a wooden weapon. Yeah. And remember in X-Men The Last Stand where they they were able to fight against the mutants by using plastic guns that Magneto couldn't take control of? That's funny too. We can't beat this man with metal, so what are we going to use? Plastic! Beats one of the most powerful mutants in the world with plastic! It's funny. But yeah, Magneto being beaten by a gun made out of wood. One of the most powerful mutants in the world being beaten by wood. It's funny. It really is funny. But getting into the reflections, because I don't want to keep you guys too long, because I got a My Hero Academia reaction to do as well. Here's an idea to stop Onigashima from being dropped on the Flower Capital. Maybe Law can make a room big enough to cover the whole island and transport it, but takes years off of his life. I brought up this idea about Law using his room to shamble people, and using a room so big that Big Mom and Kaido can't see, because, I mean, how else is he able to shamble himself? How else is he able to shamble himself and other people around during this fight? And Big Mom we haven't seen him say room once. So who knows? He could have a room around them right now. Not as far as to the extent of the entirety of Onigashima, but maybe around the entire roof of the dome roof itself. Because we haven't seen him say room at all since he's been up there. But he's been shambling people, which only happens inside of his room this whole time. Then again, he's able to shamble himself in other places without actually using room, so I could just be thinking of something else completely different, because when he was walking through the facility of Punk Hazard, he was able to shamble himself without saying room each time. So maybe I'm just overthinking it. Or Kid can levitate the whole island. I mean, if he gathers up enough metal, then maybe he can do that. Maybe. Who knows what's going to be the thing that keeps Onigashima from falling on the Flower Capital and all the innocents that are living there as well. But let me get back to my reflections. We're only going to do 3. I'm not going to take too long with these. So going into chapter 1000, the big 1000 chapter, this is the chapter where Luffy actually gets to the roof. And here we have the Inuarashi Three Musketeers who welcome him and have cleared the way to get to the roof. And all the minks that are down there right now, they're all pretty much making sure that no one else but Luffy can get up to the roof. We have Marco. Off topic, but in the Kong vs. Godzilla trailer, is it possible that wasn't the real Godzilla, but Mecha Godzilla? That's a lot of things that people are saying. Because if you look at the beginning of the trailer, that doesn't look like Godzilla coming over the buildings. That looks like something mechanical because there's multiple glowing spots that don't look like kaiju natural, but who knows? That could actually be Mecha Godzilla or Mecha Ghidorah, because you know that group, that Monarch group, they bought one of the heads of Ghidorah that Godzilla chopped off. Yeah, there was an end screen, there was an end scene at the end of King of the Monsters where they were buying one of the heads of Ghidorah that was still intact. So who knows what that is? But Luffy gets cleared a path to get to the roof. Then we have Marco contending with Queen and King, and we see here that Queen has a telescopic neck, another mechanical part of his body that he's given himself. And at the same time, this is the time when Marco was carrying Zoro, and he flings Zoro through the hole in the roof that Kaido went through. So he just tosses Kaido's, he just tosses Zoro, not Kaido. He tosses Zoro through this hole in the roof. Then we cut to Yamato saying, cut to Momonosuke talking to Yamato saying that D, and this is in my father's journal. And she's saying that, she's saying how she never thought she would get the chance to meet Momonosuke, and she gives him the journal that Oden left behind. So Momonosuke now has the journal of Oden, saying that you were born on Whitebeard's ship, weren't you? And then you went on Roger's ship. They said that in the future, over 20 years later, the new world here would be overrun by young, powerful new pirates. And here they specifically illustrate both Law, Kid, and Killer, respectively, being among these groups of people that would be these are powerful new pirates. And that's what's happening right now. I believe that Ace was first and foremost among them, but when he died, I remembered something. And she remembers when she was talking about she remembers when Ace was talking about how his brother Luffy is going to be king of the pirates. And she actually believes him and agrees with him. I'm not going to laugh at him. Those are the words the king of the pirates spoke. And she remembers back. Words that stunned Oden. In the journal of Kozuki Oden, there was a great man who said the same thing. Of course, I wouldn't laugh at him. Your brother is incredible. And it's just showing the memories of Ace and how Yamato was the one who gave Ace his own Vivre card. And then she tore off a piece to keep behind so that she can find her way to Ace if she ever got off the island. And then the day came when Ace's Vivre card just completely disappeared. And that's when she learned that Ace died at the War of the Best, at the Marineford War. I learned that Ace was Roger's son, and that his little brother really had made a name for himself as a pirate. That was Luffy, the man you brought here. This is what Oden wrote about the future. And then it cuts to Luffy joining Kid, Killer, Zoro, and Law on the roof to finally face down against Kaido and Big Mom. Over 20 years in the future, powerful pirates leading the next generation will come swarming into the new world. If I am dead by then, they will be the ones to strike down Kaido. So these are words spoken by Oden about, hey, if I don't make it, then this is going to be the generation that finally takes down Kaido. And then and this is the final, this isn't the last page though, but it shows the worst generation finally facing off against Big Mom and Kaido. And as Big Mom and Kaido are trash talking, just like here's the thing, back then, someone made a parallel comparison to this moment when Luffy walks past both Big Mom and Kaido. He walks past them without paying attention to him, and he checks on Kinemon first. And then after that's said and done, he looks over at the other scabbards, and they're all scattered across the landscape, and they're all down for the count. And Kinemon says with tears in his eyes, I have nothing to show Lord Oden but my shame. And then he asks Luffy, will you put Wano on your back? And Luffy says, of course I will, dummy. It's my friend's country. And as Kaido prepares to pretty much smash Luffy, Law teleports all of the scabbards down below, and then Luffy dodges the attack from Kaido. And then uses Gear Third to punch Kaido straight in the face the first time we see Kaido draw blood from an actual blunt attack with a new move he calls Red Rock. And this is also basically a Gear 3rd version of Red Hawk. And you're late again, Karma, it's okay, man. Don't even worry about it. It's all good. I'm just going through the reflection portion of this stream. We're on chapter 1000. We'll move on to chapter 1001 and then 1002. But it's all good, Karma. But I will say, this chapter, the latest chapter, oh, it was good. When is Kid gonna go all out? I don't think we've reached that point quite yet. But, Luffy hits Kaido with Red Rock, which is basically a Gear 3rd version of Red Hawk, and he pretty much has Kaido's head engulfed in flames, and Big Mom is shocked from the fact that someone actually managed to hit Kaido. Did I read chapter 1002 yet? Yes, I did. I've already read through it. We're already past that point right now, unfortunately. Sorry about that, Karma. And Big Mom is surprised from Luffy actually managed to land a hit on Kaido that actually drew blood. And Kaido is getting up from this and looking like, what the heck just hit me? And Luffy ends this chapter by saying, I am Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm the man who will surpass you to be king of the pirates. And thus ends chapter 1000. And then, moving into chapter 1001, which is titled Battle of Monsters on Onigashima, we have Big Mom still trying to belittle Luffy, saying, you miserable little brat, you're still going on about the king of the pirates? And then Kaido is thinking to himself, his punch damaged me, because he's bleeding from the lip. The first time he's ever actually gotten hit like that. Kaido gets hurt by every attack, but still gets up like it's nothing. This speaks to this man's stamina and durability. Sure, he's getting hurt, but the fact that he's getting up just speaks that this man is literally a mountain. But every mountain can get chipped away over time. So, but the thing is, Kaido's still taken aback by the fact that he's enjoyed his invulnerabilities, even more so to the point where he can just literally jump off Sky Islands to that point and get up with a headache and think like, well, dang, I'm still alive. So for him to be getting hit like this, you would think he would actually be enjoying the fact that he could possibly die, because that is his hobby. Has it ever occurred to Kaido that one day he may actually die? Has it ever occurred to him that his favorite hobby may actually kill him? Like, that's just what I'm wondering. Like, has he ever thought that, well, if I actually die, I can't do this hobby anymore, and I can't do whatever I want. So I feel like, even though his hobby is committing suicide, I feel like he's incredibly grateful that nothing really does kill him. If we don't get at least one supernova combo attack, I'll stop reading One Piece. You know you're gonna keep reading. You know you are. You're too far deep into it now to back out. But Kaido says his punch damaged me. Was that the hockey he learned from the old man in Wano? What was that hockey just now? You can hurt Kaido with physical attacks? Then we have a chance of winning. Let me just say one thing. And this is both Zoro, Kid, Killer, and Law speaking respectively. And Big Mom is trying to scream at him. But before I continue, the comparison I was trying to make when Luffy went to go check on Kinemon. Suicide is Kaido's hobby. Death on his own terms, not on someone else's. That's true. I can't wait for the Kaido origin story. I really hope we actually get that. And find out what he looked like as a kid. Can you imagine Kaido as a kid and then come to see him like 50, 40 years later or 60 years later? Because he's about as old as Big Mom, I think. But we haven't been given a specific age. Like Big Mom's age, we kind of know, but Kaido, I don't think we do know. Hold on, do we know Kaido's age? Let me see. No, we don't have Kaido's age. Oddly enough. We have Big Mom's age, and she's 68. So I would imagine that Kaido's around her age as well. But moving on from here, laptop is running kind of high. I want to make sure that I'm not dropping any frames for you guys. Let's keep going. So Big Mom is still the comparison I made where Luffy checked on Kinemon and then punched the person responsible reminds me, like the comment said on one video that I was looking at, reminds me of when Luffy went up against Charlos at the Sabaody Archipelago, where he checked on Hachin and then punched Charlos. So, Luffy checked on Kinemon, punched Kaido. Back then, Luffy checked on Hachin and then punched Charlos. So it's just like, don't hurt Luffy's friends or you're gonna get hit by Luffy. You would think people would know this by now. I think he must have been a teenager during the Rocks Pirates. If he was an apprentice, Big Mom was 28, so Kaido may be 10 to 15 years younger, I estimate. You know, that's actually a good point. Because, yeah, that may actually be a good point. We'll just have to see if they ever give us a Kaido origin story. But that's the comparison that I have with Luffy punching Kaido and Luffy punching Charlos. Those people mess with their friends, and then they end up getting punched in the face. And that was a punch heard around the world. And then Kaido, Big Mom's still trying to talk to Luffy, and Kaido's thinking, what happened after I destroyed him in Kuri? Both of those are events where Luffy punched dragons. See? Another comparison! Thank you, Lace King! Both of these moments were moments where Luffy has punched dragons. Sabaody, Celestial Dragon. Onigashima, actual dragon. And there's even more similarities than and here's the thing. These are also two people who thought they were untouchable. Yet another example. Who thought that they were invincible. They were above everyone else and they could do whatever they wanted. Only for them to get clocked in the face by a person who really doesn't care. Just another comparison. I'm gonna have to look at that moment again with Charlos to see even more comparisons as well. And not only that, but the people around them who witnessed this moment happen, they all thought that there was absolutely no way he just did that. How is that even possible? Doesn't he know who that is? Just another example. But Kaido was wondering what happened after I destroyed him in Kuri. There are only a scant few capable of fighting me. And in this image here, we have the people that he thinks of that are capable of fighting him is Oden, Whitebeard, Roger, Rocks himself, and Shanks. So back then, you would hear a lot of people think that, oh, Shanks is not on the same level as Kaido. How could Shanks even compare to this? But then we have the people that pop up with the people who are capable of fighting Kaido. Shanks is here in this group. He is ranked in the same group as a person who is capable of fighting Kaido. Rocks was capable, Roger was capable, Whitebeard was definitely capable, and even Oden was capable as well. I mean, he's the one who even gave him. He was the one who even gave him the scar on his chest. One of my favorite, another comparison, both deserve it. It's kind of the same witnesses as well. You know what? You're right. The same group of people who saw Luffy punch a dragon way back in the pre-time skip are the same group of people who see him punch another dragon in the post-time skip. The more comparisons! The same group of people! What other things are there? But to see Shanks ranked amongst these big name people as people who are capable of fighting Kaido, it just shows you that Shanks is fully capable of fighting Kaido. Now, whether he fought Kaido on the way to Marineford in order to keep Kaido from getting there, that remains to be seen. I honestly feel that maybe Shanks will let that slip once we see Shanks again. But to see Shanks ranked among people who are capable of fighting Kaido, and mind you, this is a Shanks who has one arm. So, for Shanks to be ranked here with one arm and he's capable of fighting Kaido, amongst Whitebeard, Odin, Roger, and Rox, it says something about Shanks' strength. Even though he's lost an arm, I feel like his strength has not diminished whatsoever. Even though Mihawk doesn't see him as a worthy rival with just one arm anymore. I don't understand why people underestimate Shanks. They underestimate Shanks because Shanks doesn't go out of his way to bring attention to himself. See, with Big Mom, we see her do all these things. Literally rip the souls from people, cause chaos and destruction. Her moment when she was 5 years old during Elbaf. And then we have Kaido one-shotting Luffy way back when, becoming a dragon, nuking mountains, causing entire islands to float up in the air. Then we have Whitebeard with his moments at Marineford. We have Roger literally being Roger. Then we have the story of Rox and his exploits, and realizing that it took both the combined efforts of Roger and Garp together to defeat not only Rox, but all the rest of his crew as well. But the thing is, with Shanks, we don't see him doing all these different feats. So that's one of the reasons why people underestimate Shanks so much. Well, if we didn't see it happen, then we can only go off of speculation. So with that speculation, we can't really say that Shanks is all that strong because we haven't seen him do anything. But we've seen Kaido do all these things. So Kaido is strong. We've seen Whitebeard do these things. Whitebeard is strong. We've seen Big Mom do all these things. Big Mom is strong. We heard the stories and seen a glimpse of what Roger can do. We clearly know he's strong. And Rox, like, he led the most powerful pirate crew back in the day, 30 years ago. But Shanks, all we know is that his crew is incredibly loyal to him, to a fault, to the point where no one can even manage to, break up the monotony of his crew, break up the camaraderie of his crew, and the level of cooperation that they have with each other. Then, not only that, but to show up to every location, the thing with Shanks is everything he does is both powerful, but at the same time subtle. Yet we still get a good scope of just how capable Shanks is. Because not every Yonko can make it to the 5 elders in Marijois. And the 5 elders tell their guards to get out of the room so we can speak to this man. Not everyone is capable of getting into Marijois, unseen, no problem. And then speak to literally the second highest power in the entire world, with the first one being Insama himself. Not everyone can say that. Not everyone can say that they have Haki so strong that it can literally break the environment around them just by him exerting himself. This is back when he spoke to Whitebeard on regards to Blackbeard way back when. Not everyone can say that they're capable of fighting on par with Mihawk. Not everyone can say that. But the thing about Shanks is, his feats are subtle. You have to speculate what makes him so powerful and why he's so powerful. So I feel like that's the reason why people underestimate Shanks so much, is because we don't see him do these things that people fear him of. The fact that he doesn't go out killing people willy-nilly and not gaining the attention of everyone around him, but we still know the scope of his capabilities, just speaks to the fact that there's more to Shanks that meets the eye. Because we can easily see these feats done by Kaido and think like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But then we have Shanks. There's a certain level of respect that everyone gives Shanks, even though we've barely seen him go into, we've never seen him in a full-on fight. There's a certain level of respect that everyone gives Shanks, regardless of whether we see him do anything or not, because that's the type of presence he has. But the fact that people underestimate Shanks just speaks to their levels of not reading in between the lines. Shanks is powerful. He just doesn't show it. You don't have to showcase power in order to let people know that, hey, I have power. You just let the subtle actions that you do can be powerful in their own right. This man does more with words than he does more with action. And that's saying something. Well, everyone except Buggy. Buggy is that odd equation that he's the only one who's not he's the only one that doesn't really, care too much about Shanks as well, due to the fact that he also is the reason why Buggy has a devil fruit in his body and all that. But their history together is like, I don't care if you are a Yonko, and that's the reason why Buggy is held in such high regard as well, is because of his close relationship with Shanks, and how Shanks, even though Buggy just dogs this man out nonstop, Shanks just brushes it off. This man is not the type to get riled up by, his former crewmates just, speaking ill about him or being disrespectful to him. He's too smooth for that. So people underestimate Shanks' level of calm when he approaches a situation. That's the reason why every situation that has been presented to Shanks, he has managed to come out of it on top. Like, he literally challenged every single person in Marineford, both Whitebeard, pirates, both the Marines themselves, and even Blackbeard at the time, and said, hey, if you guys feel like fighting, me and my crew are ready to fight all of you. It goes to show just how much influence and how much power and how much respect Shanks has when at the time Sengoku says, you know what? Because it's you, Shanks, I'll let this go just this once. You can have Whitebeard's body and Ace's body. Because it's you, Shanks, I'ma let this one go. This man who had no problem killing the only son of the Pirate King, had no problem gathering every single Marine force there, including all the admirals, all the giants, and every warlord who was there at the time to fight Whitebeard. But for Shanks, he's all like, well, there's no point in going forth towards this war anymore, and because it's you, Shanks, I'll let you have this. Go ahead. Just do this. I'll take responsibility. If that doesn't speak to Shanks' level of influence and the people who have respect for him, I don't know what does. When you got an opposing faction and their highest power at that time say, like, I'll take responsibility for allowing you to do what you want. To a pirate! People underestimate Shanks too much. And this man has never been seen in a fight, but we know how scary he is. He's the one who took off Kid's arm. We don't know how, but we know he lost it. Well, not specifically Shanks. We just know it was the red-haired pirates who took his arm. Let me be specific about that. Also, the only human-looking Yonko. He wasn't born a monster or didn't eat some crazy fruit, yet he still stands among them. He's the youngest out of all of these Yonko. He's also pretty much the most normal size looking of these Yonko. Everyone on his crew is normal looking except for Lucky Roo. And yet, he's ranked, he has the third highest bounty out of all the Yonko. He's ranked higher than Blackbeard. So it just speaks to Shanks' level of strength, to the fact that we don't even know what it is, yet we can get a sense of it due to the things that he does. Let me continue on, because I'll just keep talking about Shanks, and I'm already getting close to about an hour here, so I apologize for that. But moving on to this chapter, we're still in chapter 1001. Kaido was thinking about how high will your ceiling go with you being counted among there are only a scant few capable of fighting me. How high will your ceiling go? Kaido is wondering just how strong are you gonna get? How is Shanks even that strong? Someone must have trained him. Possibly. I mean, we know that his haki is extremely strong. He's one of the few people in the One Piece world who are capable of using all three types of haki altogether. His Conqueror's haki is strong enough to not only knock out people, but also start to destroy places around him, such as when he used his Conqueror's haki, he started to break parts of Whitebeard's ship when he started to come up the stairs to speak to Whitebeard. Then he obviously has observation haki, and he also has armament haki, which is capable of blocking Akainu's magma, because he kept Akainu from injuring Kobe, and his sword was not affected by Akainu's magma. So it shows that armament haki can get to the point where it can even block something as hot as lava, okay? Prime Rayleigh trained him, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Roger and Rayleigh trained both Shanks and Buggy, but with Shanks, I believe it's the one that stuck. But it speaks to Shanks' level of armament hockey when you can block a Logia, which has essentially been seen, because even later in the earlier when Akainu was going after Luffy and he tried to fight, and Akainu was fighting numerous people who tried to go up against him, and he turned his whole body into lava. You can especially see this in the anime, where he turned his whole body into lava, and weapons started to melt around him. It speaks to Shanks' level of armament hockey when he can hockey his weapon, his sword, Griffin. That's the name of his sword. He can hockey it up to the point where it can block the heat of magma itself with no ill effects and completely stop Akainu from punching. Now, mind you, when it comes to wielding things one-handed, normally, if you have like a stick in your hand, and unless your grip strength is extremely hard, the pressure from having said stick or said thing in your hand can cause it to bend backwards, because if you're not applying more force than the force that's being used to push the stick back or whatever you're holding in your hand back, that can bend in a direction. So if a person, like, for example, hold on. If I were to take this and hold it one-handed, it has a little weight into it because of this metal side. But if I was to take this and hold it one-handed in my hand, and someone were to push on one side, this side is not being braced by anything. I'm just holding it with one hand here. I'm just bracing it with this one hand, and someone just punches here. The pressure of that will be pushing the side that I'm not bracing. But in Shanks' case, he was able to block a punch from Akainu without moving with one hand. And Akainu has been shown to be extremely strong. So for Akainu's punch to be stopped dead in its tracks without any force or any momentum being blown back on Shanks' sword just speaks to Shanks' level of strength as well. So that's just a little bit something that speaks to Shanks' strength. Shanks is secretly superhuman, we just don't see it. And that's the scary thing. Because when we do see it, I feel like it's going to be a very important moment. But here we have Kaido saying Straw Hat, and then he tries to use Thunder. He tries to use Raime Hakke, Thunder Bagua on Luffy again. Luffy, being a little bit more conscientious of this move this time, manages to right himself after getting hit by this. And the thing was, Shanks is OP. Yes, he is! The thing with Luffy, him getting hit by Thunder Bagua again, was Luffy was trying to read the future and everything. I don't think physics applies to One Piece, but yeah, Shanks is OP. That's the thing. I'm only giving an example of what it applies to here. Like, me holding that sword here, this is what applies to here in real life. But in One Piece, physics, what are those? You have a man who can turn into light, and he can move at light speed. But in real life, moving at such a speed, I guess I'm not a scientist, but I've heard people say that moving that way would be akin to like multiple nukes going off at once, moving at that type of speed. But in One Piece, you got a man who can move at that speed, and nothing happens. So, physics, what are those? We don't know, but that's just something I brought up. But whenever I give an example in real life, never apply it to One Piece, because One Piece logic is completely different from real logic. But, because you got people who can literally get slashed across the chest, stabbed, bitten, and they never have lasting scars on them. Like, how many times has Luffy been punched hard enough to lose a tooth, or been stabbed by something, or has literally allowed himself to be hit by something, or injured by something, but we never see those scars on him. The only scars he keeps are the ones that actually have plot relevance. Yeah, I understand, but Kizaru probably has zero mass, though. That does explain why he's able to float in mid-air, because he literally is light, and light itself has no mass. So that's just an example. But yes, real world logic and One Piece logic, never bring those two in together. It's just, you can use it as an example for what would be like in real life, but never try to apply that to anime in general. Never try to apply real life logic to anime. You're losing a battle then. But back to it, because I'm already going on an hour, and I really need to get to my Hero Academia reaction as well. Sorry if I'm keeping you guys too long, but I'm doing my reflections as well, so that would explain why this is being too long. But he uses Thunder Bagua on Luffy, and Luffy was trying to read the future at the same time, but Kaido's speed was too fast for Luffy to read. So back then, when Luffy was trying to hit Kaido, and Kaido used, Thunder Bagua on Luffy the first time, too fast for even Luffy to react. And this is a Luffy who has been, if people were able to dodge Kizaru's lasers, would they be faster than light speed? I mean, there is one individual who managed to jump out of the way of one of Kizaru's explosions. His name was Speed Jizo. Hold on. Let me see if I can find him. Let me see if I can... What is his name? He was a person who was working with Whitebeard's crew, who was following Whitebeard. What is his name? Let me find... Okay, let me get Whitebeard. Let me find Whitebeard Pirates, because there's a person, here's the thing. In the anime itself, it shows this person dodging out of the way of Kizaru's lasers. Where is he? Speed Jiru! His name is Speed, not Jizo, but Speed Jiru. If we go down to his abilities and powers, in the anime, true to his name, he is shown to have extremely fast movements. A proof of this is when Admiral Kizaru launched a laser beam to stop him and his division from getting closer to the broken wall Oars made. He was seen evading it by jumping backwards and commenting on Kizaru's speed of light attack. This is quite a remarkable feat, considering the fact that Kizaru can move and shoot beams from his body without himself or his beams even getting noticed due to sheer unmitigated speed. Evidence when Diaz Drake, why did I call him X-Drake? Sorry, slip of the tongue. When Diaz Drake fought Kizaru and just noticed a blink of light from far away when Kizaru actually was already in front of him aiming a kick. So, Speed Jizu, at least if we go by the anime, is capable of seeing Kizaru's attacks and dodge them. So there is a person, if we go by the anime, who is capable of seeing these types of attacks. But Luffy was trying to read the future, but Kaido was just too fast for Luffy to react to. And Kaido notes this, saying that, "Very good, boy. You won't let the same one hit you head on twice." Then Big Mom tries to use Heavenly Fire. Foya, not fire. Foya. F-U-E-R. Foya. But Zoro comes in with Foxfire style flame rend and cuts Prometheus in two before she can, engulf Luffy in flames. And Zoro says that he stole that technique from Kinemon. Then it shows Law. Luffy dodge Pacifista's lasers, which are basically Kizaru's lasers. Yeah, so a time skip is where we see people's speed getting to the point where it's ridiculous. Feuer is German, it means fire. Yes, but that's the way it's written. That's the way it was written when Big Mom said it before. She doesn't say just fire, but it is Feuer. So F-E-U-E-R. Thank you, Karma, because I didn't know if I was spelling that right. Thank you for that. You would think that with me living in Germany for a while, I would have remembered at least some words. But Law uses Shambles on Luffy to get him out of the way, that from Luffy trying to hit Kaido. Law gets mad and upset for Luffy making it seem like Law was following his orders when he told him to put the scabbards down there, saying that, "Hey, Straw Hat, I was going to do that anyway. Don't make me look like I'm following you." Then, and they're arguing with one another. Then we see a new move from Big Mom called Heavenly Bonbons, where Prometheus shoots out little fireballs. And since Kid, Law, and Luffy are arguing with one another, saying that whoever reacts to these first is a loser, and they're all saying like, "Oh, I'm not playing that stupid game," and they both just stand there, and they both don't move, and they got some real they got some real funny faces. They have like they get the Aaron Hansen multiple double chin neck, as the fireballs appear right in their faces, and they all get hit with it. And Zoro's all like, "What are you trying to accomplish? What's going on?" Then we have Zoro putting on his bandana saying, don't get in my way, Hitokiri Kamazo. You don't hear many people with a laugh that weird. Yet another person he's making fun of their laugh with. The first person was Pika, and the second one is Killer. And remember, Kid used to say, like, we used to kill anyone who made fun of your laugh. Just like Doflamingo did with Pika and anyone who laughed at his laugh. But now they're just... If I was using my Punishers back then, you would be dead right now, Zorojiro. That outcome would have been the same. Three-sword style Purgatory Onigiri. And then Killer uses beheading claws. And they both try to cut the neck of Kaido, but it doesn't break the skin. They both aim for his neck, but it doesn't break the skin. Do you guys entertain the ZKK theory? Does that mean Zoro, Killer, and Kid? I'm not sure Zoro's mocking Killer here. He's just recognizing him for being a bit weird. So, yeah, I understand what you mean, Neil. He's not making fun of Killer. He's just saying there's not that many people with a laugh that weird. I just figured that it was along the lines of, like, how he responded when he heard Pika's laugh for the first time way back in Dressrosa. And Kaido looks in their direction saying, well done. And Zoro says, gotta unleash this Enma a bit more. And then we have Killer, Kid, and Luffy. We have Law, Kid, and Luffy getting up from getting blasted, where we see Kid use Punk Rotten, Zoro killing Kaido. The theory that he's gonna be the one to do it, I mean, it would be cool. But at the same time, it's Luffy who's doing his best to take down all the Yonko. Would you think Luffy would accept beating Kaido if it's one of his other crewmates that does it? Would you think he'd be okay with calling himself Pirate King if he hasn't himself surpassed and beaten these people? I mean, if he beats Kaido and acknowledges the fact that he beat Kaido, and then Zoro kills him after, I'd be okay with that. But I feel like it has to be Luffy who has to surpass these people before anyone else on his crew or anyone else outright kills them. I feel like Luffy has to get to the point where he feels like he's surpassed these people before they wind up dead. So if Zoro kills Kaido, I would prefer it be after Luffy has beaten him. That's just how I feel. But Luffy, Kid, and Law get up, where Kid gets up and starts using his move, Punk Rotten. If it's not Luffy, it has to be Kid to kill Kaido. Kid needs clout on par with Luffy. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen once all this settles? So we have to see. I don't know. I can't say I'm with the theory of Zoro killing Kaido and that being the outcome of the battle. I can't say I can get down with that idea. I agree, to be honest. I feel Luffy has to be the one defeating Kaido first. Thank you. See? Because it has to be Luffy who beats these big names in order to get further on his path to being a Pirate King. Because it'd be like me saying that half of my videos was made by someone else. Half of my videos were made by someone else. But then when I reach a certain subscriber milestone, I say, like, thank you for all the videos that I've made and all these videos that this channel has. Thank you for helping this. It's all because of all these videos on my channel. I've done all these videos. It's like, I can't take credit. It would make less sense if I say, like, all of this happened and, like, I'm this big because of all my videos, every video that I've made, and then I'm just like, I'm taking credit for that, for something that someone else did. You get what I'm saying? So it has to be Luffy who beats these people. It has to be Luffy. If he's going to be the Pirate King, he has to be the one to beat these people. Because they're the ones standing in his way to being Pirate King. If it's someone else who does it, then he's going to beat that person who killed them. Luffy needs competition. Roger had Whitebeard. Zoro needs to show off his new powers, though. I mean, we need to see the extent of Zoro's training. Now, the thing is, even though we see Zoro's training, let's not forget that Mihawk still surpasses him. Even though Zoro says that even though I've been trained by Mihawk, he still surpasses me. But that's just how I feel. But Kid uses Punk Rotten. How long have I been going? This has already reached an hour and 10 minutes. I'm sorry, everyone. These reflections are taking longer than I need to, and I still need to get to My Hero Academia. Once again, I apologize. I do thank you guys for sticking around for this long. So thank you for being patient with me. Kid uses Punk Rotten. Luffy uses Gear 4, and Law uses Room. So he does in fact use Room during this fight. I kept saying that we haven't seen him use Room at all, but he clearly uses it here in chapter 1001. And Kaido says, "Come," and they all launch at him. We see Law using Tact to summon a bunch of rock pillars above him. We see Luffy using Gear 4th, obviously. And then we see that Punk Rotten is in of itself a giant mechanical golem made of metal that has, disembodied arms floating around him. A lot of people called him Kid Eggman, like he's drawing a lot of inspirations from Eggman in this instance. So Kid pretty much has his own floating arm mech here. All right, let me get back to it. I was just talking to my mom. My mom, she does so much. She does too much, in fact, and I just she does far too much. She does too much for she does far too much than she needs to. I got to do something for her. But going back to this. Sorry about that. I was just talking to her. She got me some food as well. I got myself some food that I'm going to eat after this, and then when I'm done eating, then I'll do My Hero Academia reaction. Zoro cutting Kaido is a given, to be honest. That's going to be him showing off his powers, but killing him like some people say, I doubt it. I doubt it. It can't be him. But we see Kid using a floating golem. We find out what Punk Rotten is. And Kaido says they might as well be monsters in their own right. And we know, and Kid says, we know you've got tough skin, but can it save you from being crushed and compacted to death? And then Luffy says, Gum Gum, and they all say their own respective lines. Kid says some hostile stuff. Luffy says Gum Gum, and then Law is just being like a doctor as usual. I'll go straight inside the body to deliver a surgical death. And then Kaido is just smiling as Luffy hits him with Kongun. Then Kid uses his golem to hit him with Punk Vice, like literally smash him in the side. And this mech is actually pretty big because the hands are big enough to be the same size as Kaido standing up. And then Law uses tact to send all the rocks he had floating in air to just go down and pummel Kaido. And of course, Kaido, unfazed by this, turns into a dragon and floats in the air saying, "Warararara. It would almost be a shame to kill you, but you leave me no choice. Once you're dead, we'll take everything you have. All your manpower and treasure will belong to us. You've got some poneglyphs too, I assume. I can't wait for that. Whoever wins gets that much closer to the king of the pirates." And that ends chapter 1001, which in turn leads to the chapter we went through today. Now, I've already went through this again. I already went through this beforehand, but let's just go through it for posterity's sake, and then we'll draw this reaction, review, and reflection stream to a close. So, going on from here. Sorry, am I leaning too far? I feel like I'm leaning too far. How far am I leaning? Okay, I feel like I was leaning too far. I can hold my mic up. But this chapter, hold on, let me minimize this. This chapter is where we still see them fighting. We see a new move from Kaido called Demolition Gust, which is the same move that he used to, slice up the area and cut off Kiku's arm. It starts to slice into Kid's Golem. Zoro blocks it. And we have Luffy dodging these slashes as he prepares to use Kong rifle on him. And he hits Kaido, and Kaido gets sent reeling back. And mind you, this was another hit to draw blood from, because you see a drop behind Kaido as he's being sent off to the side. So this is yet another hit that draws blood from Kaido. Kid comes up and grabs Kaido's head and slams him into the ground, just basically pile drives him into the ground with Slam Gibson. We have Law coming in and hitting Kaido with Gamma Knife. Now, the thing about Gamma Knife and the uniqueness of it, let me go ahead and bring out the Ope Ope no Mi real quick so people can understand the extent of just how powerful the Gamma Knife move actually is. Because it operates on a person's inside, and no one can train their body to be tough on the inside. So, if I go down, Radio Knife, that's Radio Knife, Shambles, Counter Shock, Injection Shot, Gamma Knife. So, this is Law's strongest technique. As of right now, it says this is his strongest technique. Law creates a short blade of energy before stabbing his opponent with it. To understand what this actually does, this technique destroys his victim's internal organs without leaving any external wounds. This is a move that he just used on Kaido. Now, the reason why it didn't instantly kill Doflamingo is because he used his Ito Ito no Mi to stitch together his organs to keep it from, falling apart on the inside. According to Law, not even someone of Doflamingo's caliber can survive this. This was first used to fatally wound Doflamingo, though he managed to mitigate the worst of the effects by stitching his damaged organs back together with his string ability. And then, in just a little tidbit here, Gamma Knife is a method of radiosurgery which is used to treat brain tumors. So, this move is literally meant to break apart a person's body from the inside. So we don't know to what extent this is actually worked on Kaido. Of course, this causes him to scream out in pain, but given the fact that even though Kaido is extremely tough on the outside, we don't know if he's equally as tough on the inside. If he's not, then this Gamma Knife from Law is just wreaking havoc on his internal organs right now. And he's just not letting it show. But if we get shown that, hey, his internal organs are resistant to this sort of thing just because of what he is, I mean, the thing is, he says he's never seen an anatomical chart of a dragon, and he aimed straight for the heart. So who knows what effects this Gamma Knife could be having on his body right now. And as that goes on, Killer uses a move saying that he says that the toughness of these scales has caused us enough trouble. I just need to cut past them to the inside. and uses a move called Scyther Sonic. Now, I don't know what this move does entirely, and I doubt the wiki itself has updated to what this Scyther Sonic move can actually do. Hopefully, if I scroll down here and find out what it is, we can find out what it can actually do. Let me pull up his Punisher's weapon, because they have their own separate page. Kama Sonica. Kama Sonic. Killer spins the sickles on his Punishers at the speed of sound, creating a sound wave slash that bypasses external defenses and damages his opponents from the inside. It also creates an illusion that the sickles have increased in size. It was first used against the nigh invincible Kaido, successfully damaging him. So, not only did Law use an attack against Kaido that could damage him from the inside, but Killer was able to use an attack that could damage him from the inside as well. Maybe Killer attacks Kaido, getting past the scales like he's petting the cat the wrong way. Possibly. But this move, his Scyther Sonic skill, his Scyther Sonic ability, just like it says right here, he spins his sickles at the speed of sound, seemingly creating a sound wave slash that bypasses external defenses and damages the opponent from the inside. So this image here, where it shows his blades literally piercing through his body, he's literally spinning his blades a Vibro sword attack, basically. Pretty much. That's actually a very perfect example of that. Basically, he just spun his sickles at the speed of sound to literally vibrate through his body and slash at him through the inside. Literally a vibration, a phase attack. A vibration phase attack that just attacked Kaido from the inside. And it causes Kaido some pain as well. But in that moment, he gets hit by Big Mom's Indra. You know what? I'm going on a whole tangent just looking up different skills for all these people and these new moves that we've seen as well. Are you going to let me look up the Soru Soru no Mi? Thank you. Because I want to... Okay, Soru Soru... where is... Where is... Okay, homies, techniques, soul focus. Okay, where is Prometheus? I need to look up Prometheus. Prometheus and Zeus. Because that's where these attacks come in. We see a new attack from Big Mom called Indra. So if we go down to Zeus... Indra, Big Mom uses Zeus to shoot a powerful bolt of lightning at a distant target. It was first used against Killer. Indra is the deity of the heavens, lightning, thunder, and storms in Hinduism. And then we have another move from Big Mom called God of Lightning Tenjin, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Killer is hit with Indra, and she says that as long as you're under the open sky, there's no escape for you. With Zeus being able to be in the open air, she can basically rain down lightning wherever she is, because Zeus, by an extension, can cause lightning to come down any other place as well. Kaido tries to bite Killer and gets smacked in the face, another attack that draws blood, with Luffy's Gear 4th Rhino Schneider. And Kaido recovers from this and tries to use Bolo Breath, but Zoro has Law shamble him in front of Luffy to cut it with Flame Rend again, and then he tries to use Enma to use his one sword style Flying Dragon Blaze, which the slash goes a considerable distance. Like, it is a massively long-range slash, as it cuts one of the massive horns of the skull of Onigashima off completely. But he missed Kaido. And Big Mom knows that this is a powerful sword because you see an aura around Enma that just emanates from it. Like, you can visibly see it as Zoro tries to slash Kaido with it. But he misses. And in the process, Kaido acknowledges that why does his katana bear the presence of Odin within it? Kaido doesn't readily recognize that it is one of the swords that Odin used to give him the scar across his chest. So from the distance that Kaido is at, he doesn't recognize Enma, but he does recognize the presence of Odin on the sword. He just does not realize as of right now, that is in fact one of Odin's swords. And Big Mom is saying we've underestimated them. Big Mom is fully acknowledging, like, maybe we didn't take them too seriously. And in the process, Zoro gets hit with Indra as well. And then we see Big Mom use a new move called God of Lightning Tenjin. And here in Zeus's log, we see it's called Tenman Daijizai Tenjin. Tenman Daijizai Tenjin, which translates to God of Lightning Tenjin. Big Mom commands Zeus's lightning to strike through the clouds in all directions. The lightning itself is alive and can change direction to strike a target who's trying to take cover. As we see here, where Kid was trying to shield himself from the lightning strikes, and one of them actually bent out of the direction and went to hit him from the side that Kid was not covering. So the lightning that is hitting them with his God of Lightning Tenjin, it is alive, and it can dodge, and it can find your target no matter where you are. Just like those annoying missiles from the Marvel Avengers game that follow you wherever you go and don't stop. The lightning itself is alive and can change direction to strike a target who is trying to take cover. It was first used against the Worst Generation members on the roof of Onigashima. Tenman Daijizan Tenjin, or simply Tenjin, is a god of lightning in the Shinto religion. In the Viz translation, like I said, it's God of Lightning Tenjin. So, just another move from Big Mom to show just how powerful the Soul Fruit ability is. And everyone is getting hit by it. Killer is getting hit by it. Kid, Luffy, Law, everyone's getting hit by it. But due to Luffy's unique properties as a Devil Fruit Rubber Man, he is unaffected by it. And he prepares to try and punch Big Mom, but then he is hit by Kaido's Bolo Bresse. But Luffy, even though his body looks kind of charred from the attack, he is not destroyed by it, nor is he sent flying from it. And Kaido is looking wide-eyed like, my flames don't work either, why not? And then Luffy just chalks it up to guts, and as soon as he says gum gum, there's already a punch, which again draws blood from Kaido, as do the subsequent punches, as we see a new move from Luffy called Kong Gatling, where he just goes to town on Kaido, and these are all Kong gun punches, but they're being punched at the speed of Gear 4th and with the power of Gear 4th. This is basically his strongest Gatling attack we've ever seen him use, even stronger than his giant Gatling. Or his elephant Gatling, not giant Gatling, but elephant Gatling. So, and that's where the chapter ends for chapter 1003. And thus ends my reflections of all the chapters that we've got for the month of January. Now, where do we go from here? I don't know, but it is showing that these big Yonko, who are having so many big defenses against all that was being done to them, that is starting to get upended a little bit. At least more so in regards to Kaido. Kaido is pretty much taking all of these attacks head on. Any attempt to fight Big Mom I've noticed during this fight, any attempt to try and take on Big Mom has been met with Kaido's intervention. And Big Mom has just been hanging back like a sniper, like a long-range mage user, just throwing down lightning from a distance where no one can get to her. While Kaido is pretty much taking on all these attacks with most of these attacks actually affecting him from the inside, with the only attack that actually missed him and didn't land was Zoro's flying Dragon Blaze. That is one attack that did not land, though it did end up taking off one of the horns in the process, one of the Onigashima skull horns in the process. So that's the only attack that actually didn't land during this fight. But if it did land, who knows what state Kaido would be in, because, I mean, it takes a considerable amount of power to take off a horn that size, because the skull of Onigashima is far larger than anything we've seen anyone have on their heads, even bigger than oars. But all this fighting is going on, and Kaido is slowly but surely having most of his moves not affect anyone anymore. Because remember, we've seen him use moves like Bolo Breath, and you have to avoid it or have Zoro come in. And now we see him use it on Luffy, and Luffy isn't even affected by it. We do see that there's singe marks over his face and body, but it's not enough to keep him from falling out of the air. He's still in the air getting hit by the attack, and once the attack is over, Luffy is still there and then starts to go to town on him with Kong Gatling, and all these different attacks that we've seen everyone do. Gamma Knife from Law, Sonic Scyther from Killer, and all these other moves, and we see them all attacking Kaido internally. Killer's move to slice into a person, bypassing their entire body, bypassing the external body completely. Then we have Gamma Knife, which does the exact same thing. And then we have Luffy, basically with his Ryuo, that he's pretty much, I guess, has a full mastery of right now, because every hit he's done against Kaido has drawn blood. Every single one he's done against Kaido since Red Rock has drawn blood from him. And we have Big Mom using these new moves like God of Lightning Tenjin, and then Indra, and all these different attacks. Luffy is pretty much the only person who's resistant to everything that's happening right now. He's fast enough to dodge the Demolition Gus, which is the invisible air slashes from Kaido. He's fast enough to dodge them. He's tough enough to tank Indra because of his unique abilities of being immune to lightning. It literally has anything done by Zeus to Luffy has no effect whatsoever, regardless of its power. And now we see him, and he's capable of tanking a literal fire breath. He's capable of tanking a literal fire breath, point blank, that was capable of destroying Odin Castle and the surrounding area around it. Literally a literal nuke blast. Luffy was able to take it point blank, without faltering, without falling out of the air, without getting knocked back, and then return that with Kong Gatling. So all these moves that we've seen Kaido do that was like awe-inspiring, and thinking like, wow, that is just incredible how powerful that is. All those moves are suddenly starting to become useless. They're not having that same impact that they had before. So I don't know. What else does even the same move that he used to knock Luffy out completely unconscious, Luffy has learned from that, and it can't knock him out instantly anymore. The only reason why it actually hit him the second time was because he was trying to read into the future and Kaido blitzed him. But it wasn't enough to knock him out completely. So I don't even know where we're going to go with the story now, because with the level of power that Kaido has, what more is he going to pull out in order to try and fight them now? That's the thought that I'm having. And then, it's only a matter of time before Zoro tries to use his Flying Dragon Blaze attack again, and it actually lands. Who knows what the outcome of this battle is going to be? I can't say I have big theories about what's going to happen in the next chapter. Actually, you know what? I do. Moves are always the most powerful the first time. They are, until someone stronger comes along and those attacks no longer have any effect. But because Luffy is using Ryuo this whole time, I assume, he still took damage, he just powered through it. Exactly, that's what I said before, except for the Ryu part. So it would stand to reason that with the armament haki he has over his body that gives him even tougher defense, he is also using Ryuo on just in that same manner, and that also gives him even more defense than regular Gear 4 haki defense would. So things he would normally get hit by even in Gear 4th form are now becoming less effective with his use of Ryuo. So that's a thought. But I do have a theory about what we could possibly be seeing in the next chapter. Given the fact that Oda does love to give us multiple chapters and then has us hoping for more of the same chapter in the next chapter, I would not be surprised if we suddenly go over to the Straw Hats fighting the Tobiropo in the next chapter. Because we still have to resolve those fights. Ulti and Page 1 versus Nami, Usopp and Tama. We still have Jinbei versus Who's Who. It dropped a frame for a second. I got concerned. But we still have, I don't know, did it cut off anything for you guys? Please let me know. But we still have Ulti and Page 1 versus Nami, Usopp, and Tama. We have Jinbei versus Who's Who. We have Frankie versus Sasaki. We have Sanji versus Black Maria. We have... And who else do we have? I think that's all of the Toby Roppo. Diaz Drake is helping fight in the main hall right now. And he is contending with Scratchman and Pooh. And we have Marco contending with both King and Queen. Those are still fights and altercations we need to resolve before we resolve this fight with Kaido and Big Mom versus the Worst Generation. So I would not be surprised if Oda goes in the direction of cutting from this fight between Big Mom, Kaido, and the Worst versus the Worst Generation, and we show everyone else fighting. I would not be surprised if he just cuts to that in the next chapter. So we have until this next Sunday to I don't know, speculate about where Oda's going to go. Now, I'm not going to say I assume to know where Oda's going with this story, because I can't. But I would not be surprised me. Do you think the vice captains in Law are going to get back up? I would be satisfied with one more roof chapter before we cut away to somewhere else. I really do hope they get up. But those were like little bolts of lightning that they got hit with. Like literal bolts of lightning that were big enough to engulf them in them. So who knows where they are physically after getting hit by that. Now, mind you, they're all powerful pirates, so they could take a little bit longer to recover from it due to Luffy being immune to it. They could take a little bit longer to recover from it fully while Luffy's contending with both Big Mom and Kaido right now. But I don't think I can count them out at this moment. I don't think I want to count them out as like being down for the moment. I just feel like they just got knocked away and now they just got to get back up again. But either we get one more roof chapter, like you're saying, Snake, we get either one more roof chapter, or we cut to all the other fights that are happening throughout the Onigashima Fortress. But overall, for the month of January, these have been some very solid chapters. I see other people saying that a lot of these chapters that we're getting are trash for whatever reason. They're free to think so, but I think that Oda has been putting his heart and soul into this whole Wano arc, and I feel like he has not really faltered in any chapter since then. That's how I feel as a whole. I enjoyed every single one of these chapters, even more so than I've done so before. But these chapters in the month of January have been great. I've enjoyed every single one of them. And I'm looking forward to what chapters we're going to be getting in February. Expect the reflections to be a lot sooner in February, because February has a much shorter amount of days. It would be amazing to see those attacks properly implemented into a video game. Since they've given up support on Pirate Warriors 4, I might as well just look forward to Pirate Warriors 5, or a new Burning Blood 2 game, or maybe even One Piece Fighter Z, or whatever, for us to see attacks like that. I would really much like for a Pirate Warriors 5, because they pretty much just stopped. They pretty much just stopped supporting that game altogether. No updates, no new DLC, nothing new. It's just like, so now I'm just holding out for a new Pirate Warriors game, possibly done by a different group this time, because what they did for Pirate Warriors 4, it was lacking so much. I hope they don't get up for a while, because I feel like the battles with Big Mom and Kaido is too easy so far. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. I honestly can't say where I think this is going to go. Hey, Michael, sorry for coming in on the tail end of this stream. It was a big one for me today, but I need to go ahead and eat my food, and then after I'm done, I'm going to do my My Hero Academia reaction as well. I still need to cover that as well. So, I'm going to end it here today. I'm going to end it here for the stream for today, folks. Thank you, every single one of you, for coming out and seeing me today. You guys, I really do appreciate the support. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been with this channel for years on end, then thank you. The support for this channel has been amazing, regardless of what type of support that is. I've just enjoyed giving you guys my reactions to One Piece and just, entertaining all of you guys. It's been a great first month for me personally, and I feel like my time in, doing this full time, it's growing ever closer, and I'm really am looking forward to it. I am going to start doing some more videos though. Concerning One Piece, like I have ideas for about talking about different devil fruits and everything, and all types of things that are One Piece related. But I have a lot of things planned for this channel. On top of Demon Slayer being added some point in February or March, I'm aiming for that. But I do want to say that I do enjoy doing this. I really do. This is where my passion and effort really, really, really goes to. One of my passions. The other passion is music, but I really do love doing this, and I just want to say thank you for giving me the time of day and allowing me to do what I love for you. I just want to see Kaido do something that actually has an effect. He's supposed to be the strongest man. Only time will tell. Something is going to happen because I feel like we haven't even seen the full extent. He is the strongest creature. We haven't seen the full extent of Kaido. These are just moves that he's known to use. So I feel like Kaido has not reached that penultimate point where he's just gonna use a last ditch effort and attack that is capable of, hey, if you don't do something, we're all going to die moment. So we have to see. But I make music? No, I play music. I don't make music. I haven't gotten to that kind of stage yet. Like, I play music. I just play music. I don't make music. But I just want to say thank you, everyone, for taking the time out for the 1 hour and 41 minutes that I've gone on for. Sorry if I talked your ears off. Sorry if I went on in monologue for too long, but I just wanted to cover all my bases for this reaction, review, and reflection stream for today. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples.